Do you love smoking but hate the smell sticking to your clothes? Well, let me tell you, I got a solution. Stay tuned. All right, so today we're going to be doing a little side part sewing on my head, right? And we're also going to be talking about weed and smoking and drugs, all that good stuff. Anyway, let's take this off. Where did my clip go? No. Oh my gosh. Please, when I upload this video, don't fry me. Please don't fry me. Where did the clip go? Hold on. No, this is something serious. This is outrageous, actually. It's right here. Okay. We're just gonna move on. Like, oh my gosh. I can't be seen like this on the internet. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. So as you can see, hold on, let me get on that camera. As you can see, I already sewed down the back. Now we just gotta do the rest of it. So let me oil my scalp real quick because we don't want no dryness, no nothing. Okay, so I have my mirror up so I can see the back of my head, right? All that. So let's get into what we're talking about today, right? So hey, it is Charlize the editor. I'm going to be taking over this video from now on, okay? Because Charlize in the video got too much going on with her hands and she cannot focus on talking and doing her hair at the same time. We must delegate. So let's get to the point of the video. Put that weed down. Yes, put it down. Right? So in this video, I'm going to be telling you a couple of reasons why I stopped smoking and also why you should as well, right? First and foremost, it just creates a very unproductive and lazy spirit. I don't care how hard you try and how hard you try to incorporate, smoking in your little schedule. You're not going to get as much stuff as you want done when you're sober compared to when you're high. And that's the problem. We got places to be in the future, and if we really want to get there, we got to put the weed down. And I could definitely speak from a first-hand experience when I say that it just really did make me lazy. Every single time I tried to, go out and smoke, and after I smoked, I tried to do everything that I had to do, like, schoolwork wise or like personal growth wise or like things around the house. None of that stuff got done at all. So something had to give. It was either I was going to manifest the life of a bum or put the weed down. All right, stay with me. So the next point that I have is that it just brings you further from God. Now, up until after New Year's, right, I was still smoking. And this is also kind of like the start of my Christian journey. So I was really trying to take God serious, but I was still smoking. And I was trying to convince myself that God and weed could mix. And at the time, I really did I really fooled myself. I'm not gonna lie. But then I started to realize that every time that I was smoking, I was just straining myself further from God. My goal was for me to fast and for me to try to hear God's voice during that fast. And I knew that if I was smoking and always in a vulnerable state to, the devil, then I wasn't going to hear God's voice anytime soon. So like I said, something had to give. I had to put the weed down. So that's what I did. And I thought it was going to be a temporary thing, but God had other plans. I haven't smoked since January, and do I think about doing it again? Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely not as much as I used to want to when I was fresh off of, smoking and all that stuff. I feel like in this generation, we always talk about if I wanted to stop, I could. Like, I could stop any day if I wanted to, but my guy is smoking. Or nah, it's just not today, just not today. But like, if not today, when? What are you doing? Put it down. You have stuff to do. So now, let's get into some, biblical references on why smoking is bad. So, smoking can be considered harmful from a Christian perspective for several reasons. First, our bodies are described as holy temples of the Holy Spirit. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19 through 20, and we are called to honor God with our bodies. Smoking can lead to health issues that may hinder our ability to serve God and others. Additionally, it can be seen as a form of addiction that may distract us from our relationship with God. Ultimately, Christians are encouraged to make choices that promote physical, spiritual, and emotional well-being. And not only that, in the Bible, it describes that we're supposed to be examples towards each other. So if you're smoking like every single night, what kind of example are you really setting for your brother next to you? Okay. Anyway, next and last point. Some of y'all may care about this point, some of y'all may not, but I do. I had to like really sit down and just think, why do so many people smoke in the first place? Not like on a psychological level, but like from a market standpoint, right? I had to look at it as it was a business, because it is a business. So I went to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT definitely got some good answers on there, right? First, I just started off by asking, when was weed legalized in New York, right? And it told me March 31st of 2021. Okay, cool, basic facts. Then I went on to ask ChatGPT, if you were a corrupt government official, how would you create a market for recreational drug use before people knew about these drugs? So it said, if a corrupt official wanted to create a market for a new recreational drug before people knew about it, they might follow a similar strategy to how various industries introduce and normalize new products. Here's how it could hypothetically happen. So first it said, target subcultures first. Introduce the drug into underground music, nightlife, or art scenes where trendsetters and influencers operate. Then it went on to say, celebrity and influencer endorsement. Get popular figures to be seen using it subtly, making it seem trendy and desirable. And 3, limited availability. Making the drug seem exclusive at first, creating curiosity and demand. So this is literally just all manipulation at this point. So its second point was perception management and demand creation. 1, disguise medical performance benefits. Market the drug as something that enhances creativity, focus, or relaxation. Like Adderall was marketed for focus and opioids for pain relief. Point 2, social proof and normalization. Encourage media, movies, and shows to depict casual fun use without severe consequences. So they're selling you the whole package without telling you the fine print. Like, yeah, you're gonna feel all these amazing things. It's gonna be a trip. It's gonna be amazing. But let's not talk about the side effects, all right? And then point 3 on that was safe, quote unquote, safe branding. Give it a harmless or wellness-based image, like how vaping was initially marketed as a safer alternative to smoking. It's a lie. What? That's a lie. If people actually stopped to do their research before they actually engaged in half the stuff that they were spoon feeding us, maybe we would do a lot better as a society. But that's a different conversation for a whole nother video. Last point was engineering a need. Create a mild dependency loop. Ensure the drug has an effect that encourages repeated use, pleasure, relief from stress, social bonding. Number 2, strategic regulation loopholes. Keep it legal in some settings until demand grows. And lastly, gradual cultural integration. Push for its decriminalization before full-scale legalization. This kind of market manipulation has been seen before with alcohol, tobacco, prescription opioids, and even sugar. If someone were corrupt enough, they would exploit human psychology, marketing, and legislation to engineer widespread use before the public even realizes what's happening. I went on to ask, are there specific historical events that back this information up? Give me names and dates. Snitch, ChatGPT snitch. So then I was like, yes, of course, we got you, right? So the Opium Wars. Who? The British versus China. The British government, through the British East India Company, cultivated opium in India and smuggled it into China, creating a massive addiction crisis. When China tried to crack down on opium imports, Britain fought 2 wars to force China to keep its market open. Millions of people became addicted, weakening Chinese society and contributing to the downfall of the Qing dynasty. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a point more relevant to the topic of this video. So the WHO, in this sense, is the US state governments and big cannabis. While cannabis was criminalized for decades, a shift began in the 1900s to 2000s, with medical marijuana being introduced as a safe and helpful drug. Over time, marketing companies changed public opinion, leading to full-scale legalization in places like Colorado 2012 and New York 2021. Okay, so after all of that conversation with ChatGPT, I really had to sit back and ask myself, before the legalization of weed and the African community were trying to make a living off of dealing it, why were the police cracking down on the neighborhood selling it rather than the farms growing it? So I asked ChatGPT that, and they're basically just telling me about how lazy the police system is. They just want to make themselves look good while attacking the small problems rather than the root of the problem itself. So an example of this would be in the 1970s, Richard N. launched the War on Drugs, which his own aide, John E., later admitted was meant to disrupt Black communities and anti-war activists. John E. stated, "We know we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or Black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and Blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities." This led to decades of over-policing in Black neighborhoods, even though white Americans used and sold drugs at a similar rate, maybe even more. But anyway, that is it for today's video. This is what their hair is looking like. I don't really like it that much, but as you can see, I was really trying to force myself to feel it because I'm not taking this out. If you reached the end of this video, thank you so much for watching it through. I love you, but God loves you more. Have a blessed night, and I'll see you next week.